The whole Dark Night of the Soul experience is there to help you see what belief systems you are ascribing to or believing in, so that you can change them for the better and start beginning to pick belief systems that make you feel really good about yourself, rather than ones that, well, don't. So if you're feeling a bit flat, or if you're feeling like, oh, I don't want to get up in the morning because there's nothing to get up for, then you're the one I want to talk to today, because I have some really cool insights that certainly helped me getting through that part of the Dark Night of the Soul. So if this is for you, then watch this video. The Dark Night of the Soul is all BS. Belief systems. Clever that, isn't it? What are you believing in about yourself to be true in any moment to make you feel less than or pain in that moment? And the amazing thing about the Dark Night of the Soul, especially from my perspective now that I see it from a more positive outlook, literally the pain is there to show you where it is that you need to grow. It's a nice procedure. When you see it from a whole perspective, it's not the surgeon jabbing in the knife just to wrench your guts out. It's the surgeon actually being really delicate with his procedure so that he can fully create the experience that you want out of the procedure, e.g. a healing. God, I need to work on some of these metaphors. So, although it can feel very painful, what I'm getting at is it's actually a good experience to go through and necessary. It seems to me that actually it's a natural process. It's essentially our step up from childhood to adulthood, really, because I genuinely, and this might offend some people, genuinely believe even adults, parents, are in this perpetual childish state. And this Dark Night of the Soul will force you to grow up, to be strong. As you know, most of you, a few of you at least definitely have experienced it, if not are going through it right now. And you know that the pain that you're feeling inside is there to make you grow. It's there to make you strong. Life wants to make you strong. And once you're through an experience like this, you then can look back in retrospect and say, oh, thank God I had that experience. Now nothing can touch me in life. Of course, I'm not saying there won't be ups and downs, because I'm sure there's still ups and downs to come for me. I'm definite of it. But I will then be able to deal with them from this greater perspective that the Dark Night of the Soul has given me, so long as I'm not hijacked by my mind, my emotions, my feelings, my ego. So it's all about belief systems. So what belief systems are we believing in? Another thing I wanted to talk about really was definitions. How are we defining things? For me, especially along my early journey, and especially quite recently actually, if I'm really honest with myself, I'm starting to have a look and wonder how I'm defining. Let's put it this way. We can get stuck in the Dark Night of the Soul for a long, long time. And that flatness that we feel can go on for as long as we let it. Now, of course, there's the argument, do we ever really go off of our path? And obviously, who knows? I don't know. And this flatness, maybe it's meant to happen for a long time for some people. I don't know. I don't know. But for me, the flatness began to change. Excuse me, I will just turn that off. The flatness, the flat feelings began to change within me as soon as I started defining the spiritual journey or my feelings differently. For example, I was held back for a long time in my spiritual growth because I perhaps judged that side of me, but not only that, I judged perhaps meditation, or I judged yoga as boring. Now you have to bear in mind that is a subjective opinion. I've then put this grey blank slate in front of yoga and meditation as my definition of boring. And therefore my life is flat, no joy. I can't get any joy from my past experiences of life much, because that now to me is boring. And not just a definition, like experientially. My energy won't go there anymore. And now in front of me, where I'm going with my life, I've also defined as boring, or my mind has, and I've believed in it. What began to change that for me, and I understand it will feel fake perhaps and not real at the start, what began to change this for me was me ascribing more positive definitions to things in my life. Now, let's say you are in this blank state of being. Constant, perpetual, bored mind, boring life. Been there, get it, no judgment. Still comes up in my life sometimes, but when it does, I then know what to do with it. If I'm in a blank state, there's certainly a possibility, if we're really honest with ourselves, that I am defining what's in front of me as boring, or most things in life as boring. So the way that I began to change that and bring more bliss into my life, more natural enjoyment, and that is who we are naturally anyway, we've just covered it up with loads of definitions, boring ones. Well, we then get to change them, and that's what really began to change me and my experience of this journey. I was held back for a long time spiritually. I was doing that to myself because I wasn't ready to take personal responsibility for the definitions that I was giving my yogic practices, or the definitions that I was giving the sadhana that I was doing, which is just really yoga or breathing practices to help you along, to accelerate your spiritual awakening. And as soon as I began to give positive definitions to these things, for example, it is possible for us to, rather than see meditation as boring, I don't want to do that, it's boring, we can within ourselves choose to say, oh, exciting, meditation. And I get it, like at the start it won't feel right, but the more meditation you do and the more you kind of force yourself sort of with a positive state of being to ascribe more positive definitions, oh exciting, there will come a point when you believe it. I think it's Abraham Hicks that says, a belief is just a thought you think a lot. And that's true, and we have to admit that we think a lot of negative ones, or at least neutral. But if we're really honest with ourselves, we think a lot of negative thoughts, and then we create negative beliefs, and then those negative beliefs create our dark night of the soul, or really our experience of life. Don't even think the dark night of the soul is a real thing. It's not a tangible thing. It's just these belief systems that we've ascribed to that we then have to change from negative to positive, which takes personal responsibility, in my experience. So we're changing the definitions that we're giving to these things in front of us, whatever is in front of us in life, from negative to positive, and that does take personal responsibility. And it takes a natural wanting to take this seriously. And without that, we will be stuck, as I know, in this perpetual flat state of life, and that will not change until there's an inner yearning for more, and I mean a real, deep inner yearning for more. And when that comes, oh, what a blessing. Because then we can see with real clarity that it's just the definitions that I'm giving things that are holding me back, that are making me not even try them. It's like when I was a kid, I used to be afraid of trying new foods. And I know some of you will resonate with this. Somebody might put a piece of fish in front of me, and I'd be like, no, I don't like that. No, I'm not eating that, I don't want it. And it's like my parents would be like, you've never even tried that, how do you know? And I'm there like, no, I already know I don't want to I'm not going to like it. I already know it's not going to be tasty for me, I don't want it. No, get it away from me. It's that sort of attitude that I found myself having towards meditation and yoga and things like that. Things that actually will serve me. Even down to vegetarian food. Oh no, I already know I'm not going to like it. No, I don't want to. Oh, I already know this meditation's going to be boring. I'd rather sit here and play PlayStation. Oh, I already know that yoga I can do later. I don't want to do it now because right now I'm watching Coronation Street. I don't know. I don't watch Coronation Street, but I couldn't think of anything better. You'll have to bear with me, guys, I'll be honest with you. I'm not very good at this yet. Anyway. When either the pain gets too much, or there's a sense of like I'm going nowhere in my life until I actually take action on these things, until then we probably won't bother. Because that flat state, though boring, is comfortable. We're used to it, you know. But for those who want a really exciting life, and that was me, I want a really exciting life. So I choose to define things in a positive way, in a way that excites me, in a passionate way. Oh, meditation, oh, exciting, exciting, I get to meditate. And it sounds odd, because we're not used to doing it, but a positive mental attitude really will begin to change these positive thoughts into beliefs. And once you've said, oh, exciting, I get to meditate. Oh, meditation, how exciting. Oh, yoga, how exciting, let's do that. Like Abraham Hicks says, a belief is a thought that's thought a lot. Well, if we keep thinking these thoughts, soon they turn into beliefs, and then we know, through the pain of the dark night of the soul, our negative beliefs create pain, right? But these positive ones, whew, what joy they bring. Really, what joy they bring. I don't know, maybe I'm just the weird one. I suppose you might just have to find out for yourself if the feeling's there. You don't have to take on what I'm saying, but it worked for me. And should you want to, there's more things on my channel to do with the dark night of the soul that helped me, and other people are drawing from them, so you're more than welcome to join me on there if you'd like. And as always, down below, link to a totally free guided meditation. And that guided meditation essentially will use, it'll be different to any guided meditation you've ever done because it's a lot of breathing practices, but it will bring you into your inner blissful feeling. And that inner blissful feeling will then help you have awareness to see these limiting beliefs for exactly what they are. And that's just beliefs. BS. Belief systems. And then when we see that, we can drop them and change them for more positive ones. By ascribing positive definitions to the things that we're doing. I don't know if that will help anyone. It certainly helped me. I hope it helps. I really do. But for now, peace.